Okay, I would like to call the special meeting of the City Council to order. Deputy City Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Martin, Councilmember Mora,
Here.
Councilmember Sarno, Mayor Pro Tem Zamora is not here, and Mayor Rodriguez.
Here.
He's here.
There he is. Thank you.
Public comments are now open. Anyone joining us through Zoom can use the raise hand function if you wish to make a public comment on closed session items only. The Deputy City Clerk will see if you have raised your hand through the Zoom application. For those that are here to make a public comment in person, you will have an opportunity once the Deputy City Clerk announces your name. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Deputy City Clerk, do we have any members of the public that wish to speak today?
Madam Mayor, we have nobody present in person and nobody with their hands up on Zoom.
Thank you. I will now close public comments. Closed session item number 4. I would like to call upon the city attorney to read the closed session item.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. We have one item tonight. It's Public Employment Government Code Section 54957B1, title City Manager Evaluation.
Thank you. We will now recess to closed session. We will reconvene the meeting after closed session to hear a report from closed session and to adjourn the meeting.
Delilah.
All right, I would like to reconvene the meeting, I would like to reconvene the meeting. City Attorney, is there a closed session report?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, council members of the audience. We did hold a closed session at 5 o'clock and no reportable action was taken.
Thank you. I would like to adjourn the meeting. And good evening. I would like to call the regular meetings of the Public Finance Authority, Water Utility Authority, Housing Successor, Successor Agency, and City Council to order. Deputy City Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Martin. Councilmember Mora.
Here.
Councilmember Sarno.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Zamora.
Here.
And Mayor Rodriguez.
Here. Thank you.
Members of the Public Financing Authority and Water Utility Authority receive $150 for their attendance at these meetings.
Thank you. I would like to call upon Mayor Pro Tem Zamora to give the invocation.
You guys can please stand. Bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we ask your blessings on this council as we meet tonight. Grant us both wisdom and compassion as we make decisions about the future of our community. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you. I would like to call upon Alyssa Mejia, fifth grader from Lakeland Elementary, to lead in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please look at the flag. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, Alyssa. Can you please tell us your hobbies and or sports?
I like to do soccer and draw.
Well, thank you. That's great. Would you like to take a picture with us? Would you like to take a picture with us?
Sure.
Thank you. All right, item number 5, public comments. Public comments are now open. Anyone joining us through Zoom can use the raise hand function if you wish to make a public comment on any item on the agenda or not on the agenda. The Deputy City Clerk will see if you have raised your hand through the Zoom application. For those that are here to make a public comment in person, you will have an opportunity once the Deputy City Clerk announces your name. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Deputy City Clerk, do we have any members of the public that wish to speak today?
Yes, Madam Mayor. First, we have Bruce Crow.
Thank you.
President. Oh, is this on? Okay, I'm back. I'm from Downey. I'm here concerning the Central Basin Municipal Water District. There's been an attitude in Downey that from some of the city council people that this is an agency that the city has no authority over, although the city council has brought in the Central Basin to provide water for you residents and our residents. And it's disingenuous to say that you have no control or should have any input as to what goes on at the Central Basin Municipal Water District. You are the ratepayers. We are the ratepayers. We are connected in this thing together. 24 cities are connected together in this thing. It is also known as the corridor of corruption. That is what it's known as. And there's been a lot of bad things going on in Central Basin. First was a $2 illegal meter charge that was eventually rescinded, but we were paying for this. You were paying for this. And now, if you look at your annual secured property tax statement, if you're a homeowner, you all get one of these. We now have a $10 standby charge. You are involved in this thing. It is your business. Every time you take a shower, every time you turn on the tap, it is your business. So when a councilman tells you it's not your business and that they don't want to be accountable or hold the Central Basin accountable to you, they don't have the attitude that they work for you. They think you work for them. And whenever they suggest that you should never have it mentioned at a city council meeting, take note of that person. Take note. That is arrogance at its best. Now, last November 1st meeting, we had a gentleman call in, a Frank Feldman, who lavished praise on Mr. Noah Negretti. Now, I don't know Mr. Noah Negretti, but he was the best thing going as far as Central Basin was concerned. He fixed the $2 illegal meter charge. We would love to hear how that meter charge was fixed, because Mr. Negretti rose above the corruption of high moral standing and moral ethics standing. I thought, man, if he had died on the third day, he was going to raise from the grave. But anyway.
Madam Mayor, next we have Peggy Redumas.
What I'm here for is to try and find out about some rumors that are going around the city. It may seem petty to you people, but to me, it was very important. Several years ago, I was accused of stealing turkeys and chickens from the deal. So I was told not to do anything about it. So anyway, I was told that Jesus at the town center had given 2 turkeys to 2 of the employees who were working there. If you're going to do that, you should give it to everybody and not just those 2. Also, there was a rumor going around that Councilman Joe Angel also got 5 turkeys at the thing. If that's true, he didn't have anything vetted through the social workers unless he was delivering for people who were already there. The person and I, who were both accused of stealing these several years ago, both paid for them so that we wouldn't have to go through this. I don't know who said we stole them. We were having a lot of problems with the person who was in charge, who kept saying, take this, I don't want it, take this, I don't want it. Put it in your car, put it in your car. And so we ended up being on, seeing Ed Ramirez and having Ed tell us what was going on. And although it didn't accuse us of having stolen what we were given, it sounded a lot like it. So we did pay for them. And as far as I know, I would like to have somebody on the city council to get back to me and let me know what really went on so I can squelch some of these rumors. Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, next we have Dolores Duran.
Dear fellow council members, my name is Dolores Duran, and I have a concern to bring to your attention. I live on 9736 Bartley Avenue, and when I take out my trash to the alley the trash day, I noticed that the gravel is coming up with cracks and a lot of little rocks. And I would like the city to look into it and have something done in regards to it. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, that concludes our speakers. However, we have one more special guest joining us today.
She doesn't get one, Santa. She's been bad. Thank you, sir.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Thank you.
See, I told you they must say next.
Yes, right here. Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, Santa.
Santa, where's Mrs. Claus?
Somewhere around here.
No.
You.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, I will now close public comments and move on to the next item. Item number 6, Public Financing Authority Agenda. We have 2 consent items. Is there a motion for the approval of item number 6A and 6B?
I'll move 6A and B.
I'll second.
All those in favor, say aye. Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 7, Water Utility Authority Agenda. We have 3 consent items. Is there a motion for the approval of items number 7A through 7C?
I'll move 7A through 7C.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 8, Housing Successor Agenda. We have 1 consent item. Is there a motion for the approval of item number 8?
I'll move. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 9, Successor Agency Agenda. We have 1 consent item. Is there a motion for the approval of item number 9?
I'll move. I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 10, City Council Agenda. We have 10 consent items A through J. Is there a motion for the approval of the City Council Consent Agenda?
I'll move A through J.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? So ordered. Public hearing item number 11, Alcohol Sales Conditional Use Permit, CUP, case number 81. I would like to call on Director of Police Services, Dino Torres.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. SCC Distribution is an independent craft beer distribution company servicing direct-to-retail accounts in Los Angeles. In accordance with the municipal code, they are requesting approval of CUP case number 81 to allow the warehousing and distribution of alcohol, like beverages at 13620 Imperial Highway, Unit 3. Concurrently, they are applying for a Type 17 beer wholesaler license with ABC, and that's to sell beer and wine to retailers. Next slide, please. The business is located in the heavy manufacturing zone M2. It's developed with 5 buildings, commonly known as the Trico Imperial Business Park. The unit they will occupy is about 1,000 square feet, so it's not very large. There are a total of 209 parking stalls on this development, and the main arterial highway is Imperial. Next slide, please. Things that are considered prior to recommending a CUP is we look at the parking. So this site complies with parking regulations, circulation. There's 3 entry exit points to the business park. Hours of operation, they're an 8 to 5 office hours. Their sales are done mostly via phone, email, social media, and direct to their retail partners. Their location's intended use is strictly for the storage of inventory, which is a ready packaged beer. Control of littering is required by the conditions of approval, so managing that. Property maintenance is one of the conditions of approval and also in the property maintenance ordinance, and control of public nuisance. So this use involves a warehouse distribution activity, so we don't foresee any negative impacts. Next slide. So on November 14th, the Planning Commission voted to recommend to the City Council to approve alcohol sales conditional use permit case number 81. And the recommendation is tonight that the council approve the permit. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to be heard, please raise your hand via Zoom or approach the podium. When speaking, please state your name. Deputy City Clerk, do we have any speakers?
Madam Mayor, we have no speakers present wishing to speak.
Thank you. I will now close public hearing. Is there any discussion or a motion for the approval of item number 11?
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So ordered. Public hearing item number 12. It's a long one, but I'll try it. So introduction of ordinance number 1116, an ordinance amending section 150.001, building code adopted of chapter 150, building regulations of the municipal code by adopting by reference the 2023 edition of the Los Angeles County Building Code, Title 26, Electrical Code, Title 27, Plumbing Code, Title 28, Mechanical Code, Title 29, Residential Code, Title 30, Green Building Standards Code, Title 31, and existing building codes, Title 33, Planning. I would like to open the public hearing.
Madam Mayor, there are no speakers.
Oh, okay. Anyone with? Okay, I will now close the public hearing. City Attorney, can you please read the title of ordinance number 1116?
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. Madam Mayor, you did such a great job, but just to be official, this is ordinance number 1116, an ordinance of the City of Santa Fe Springs, amending section 150.001, building code adopted of chapter 150, building regulations of the municipal code, adopting by reference the 2023 edition of the Los Angeles County Building Code, Title 26, Electrical Code, Title 27, Plumbing Code, Title 28, Mechanical Code, Title 29, Residential Code, Title 30, Green Building Standards Code, Title 31, and existing building codes, Title 33.
Is there any discussion or a motion for the approval of item number 12?
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 13, residential alley improvements, Terradale Street to Bartley Avenue. I would like to call on the Director of Public Works, Noe Negrete.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, Council. So we have before you an item. We have before you an item, we would like to add a project to the capital improvement plan. This was vetted through the CIP subcommittee at the last meeting. They're recommending that we present this to the council as a whole to add this to the capital improvement plan. I'll show you some pictures. The asphalt paving is very distressed. I think you had somebody in the public comment talking about this very alley in terms of the condition. Widespread alligator cracking, spalling of concrete in many cases, some drainage issues. Street sweeping issues is that when the sweeper goes by, he picks up a lot of the asphalt and it actually looks worse than before they actually swept it. And the asphalt is beyond repair. So we had this as the needs assessment when we did the CIP about a year ago. It wasn't a project that was selected, so we're asking you to reconsider that and add this to the project. Currently, for the needs assessment, it is to put back asphalt where the asphalt was and to make repairs to the concrete ribbon gutter. Total estimated cost is about $555,000. And we would recommend this be funded through the UUT Capital Improvement Fund. And this is roughly where that alley is. The alley's in red. Essentially, it's to the west of Orange Pioneer. On the north, it's bounded by Terradale. And it just finishes just north of Telegraph Road. Closer to Telegraph, it is concrete, so we would tie into that section, as you see in the picture on the left. The picture on the right is the one that, as it doglegs north, what that alley looks like. And you can see it's a traditional alley with walls, gates, garages backing up into. But you can see some of the conditions here. This is the original asphalt, as far as I know. It's about 3 inches on native material. There is no base material there. That's why it is originally, for the scope, is to actually bring in base of 4 inches to try to stabilize that. When we get into the design, we can see if we can actually compact that native to a suitable compaction and then just put the asphalt on. But again, this is pretty typical of that alley in terms of its asphalt condition and the drainage conditions. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
I had one question first. I wanted to ask, when was the last time we had done any repairs on this street, and how did we let it get this bad? Why did we let it get this bad?
I'm sure they're doing maintenance repairs, pothole repairs, but as far as reconstruction or replacement of the alley, I don't have any recollection of when that was last done.
Has it ever been done? You don't know?
No, it hasn't been done in at least 20 years. It might be the original alley. That's my best guess, because it is 3 inches on native material. That's my best guess, is that's the original alley when the city was built.
And when was that?
Late 50s, early 60s.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
How come, could I ask a question?
Yes.
How come we're not doing concrete instead of asphalt?
We can take a look at it as an alternative to look at, evaluate both options.
Because I think you'll get a better price for concrete than asphalt, especially if you can compact. Like, we're doing some alleys right now in the city of Norwalk, and we're grinding it, compacting it, and putting down concrete, and it's just as good. I would probably recommend to do an alternate or get prices for both of them, just because I think concrete's gonna last forever. Then we're not coming back, 60 years later, 70 years later, and redoing it again. Just
Fine. We can do that. We can bring, when we start the design, we can evaluate both materials, asphalt, concrete, and bring back that price to you, and then you can give us further direction on that.
And what's a timetable for?
This is just adding it to the CIP. So we'll have to look at in terms of priorities, if that's something a priority you want to move up or down. We do have 42 active projects right now, so this will be 43.
Could,
And then we've been working with the CIP subcommittee in terms of timing, but that is something we can bring back to the council as a whole. We can tell you what the priorities are for next year in terms of the timing of those projects. We can go over the whole CIP if you'd like.
I do have one more question. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but on item number 15, we're going out for a concrete improvement project. Would we be able to use that as an alternate to put in there so we can get somewhat of a price to add it to this concrete improvement project?
No, we wouldn't be done. This project, the next one you're talking about, that'll be done before the design is completed for the alleys.
Okay.
Question. Knowing on the other side of Pioneer, there's also an alley. Is there another one like, it's
On Pioneer and
it's
Orange
east of Pioneer,
Houghton.
like Houghton area? How bad is that alley compared to this alley?
Mm-hmm.
We have several alleys, so like you got one coming in through here. I think that's the only one on this. And then
Yeah,
you got
so-
one right in between here. A lot of our alleys are in bad shape. I think that the reason why they're that is because we focused in on streets.
Can't we just do a project of all the alleys together, or is that?
You can do whatever you want. It's just a matter of money, right? So right now, the priority has been to do the streets before the alleys. If you want to do the alleys before you do the streets, we can do that as well. It's just a matter of priority.
I think if this is alley just as bad as the other one, why can't we just get a price to do everything?
Good. It's just a matter of adding it to the CIP and setting aside money.
So this alley, I know it's bad. So are there any, and we're talking about that other alley. So are there any other alleys that are in this condition that we can take a look at?
We'd have to go out and inspect those. As far as I know, this is the alley that's the
Yeah,
worst.
I've inspected that one. My tires were actually rolling when I was there. So that's why I knew it was very bad. But if there's other alleys that are this bad, maybe we should, take a look at them.
Yeah, I think we should just do a complete alley program and just do it all at the same time, but sooner than later.
If possible, instead of just asking for this area, can we just make it a project of all the alley in Santa Fe Springs? Just that way we can have a rough number of what it would be altogether, and then let us decide.
The
You
same
know,
design is
yeah,
just,
same
it's
design.
just square footage.
I think I prefer we inspect them first to make sure
Yeah,
which ones you need to look
Please,
at.
can they come back with
We can
that?
do that.
Do a grading process too.
Okay.
I don't know how to tell you this, but we've really been focused on streets. So it's not that we don't want to do the alleys,
Mhm.
it's that we have a lot of streets that are in equal or worse condition that it's a street.
Exactly.
So that's been our priority to do those. But if that changes, if our direction changes, we can go to an alley. It's just a matter of what we want to do first.
I mean, if
Well,
we're-
we do have some money stored away from some one-time monies that we put into some other funds that we can probably pull and put it to this, since we think it's a time to do now. So I think we can find the money.
Yeah, if you remember, when we did the CIP, we were looking at about between 17 and $20 million. And this was one of the projects that didn't make the cut for that reason, is that the other projects obviously added up to get to that 17, $20 million. But you're correct, as we have surpluses, these are the type of projects that we should look at. As we have surpluses, let's look at projects that got, on the edge of the other side of the cut, to bring those back and see if we can find the funds now for that.
But these are more of a risk management thing than it's for safety concerns. When you have people that are walking in the alleys, pulling their trash cans in and out, tripping and falling, it,
No, why don't we just do all the alleys? Instead of just being for one, to just do everything and then come back to us with the prices if possible.
Sure, we'll come
But
back.
if we've already started this one, and, you said you've gotten calls on it, and we have people that you've already evaluated it, why don't we get started on this one and then continue with the other alleys?
When you say we've evaluated to bring it to the CIP. to the
Yeah,
list.
so-
So we
yeah,
haven't-
and
we
you
haven't
got-
started- We haven't started the design. We just evaluated to know enough that we need to put it on the capital improvement plan.
So Madam Mayor and Council, tonight, what you have before you is one item for this
Right.
particular alley to add it to the CIP. You could act on this item tonight, and you could give further direction
Right.
for Public Works to evaluate other alleys and bring that information
Right.
back to you at a later
Yeah,
agenda.
I think that would be a good idea, because like I said, I don't know how many council members have taken a tour down that street, but I did, or I'm sorry, the alley. And the wheels rolled, and like people say, when you get out to empty your trash cans, we have a lot of seniors that have they do their own trash cans, take them out. They can, it's for safety reasons now. So I think that we should get this designed, or whatever the process that you have going, and move forward with the other alleys that have safety issues.
the design will be the same throughout the whole thing. It's only square footage difference.
It just depends. I'm not confident that base material that's there, it's not native. I'm not confident we can compact that to 90%. I'm getting into details right now, but we'll do some further geotechnical investigations to do that. Obviously, if that does hold, that's a huge savings to the project. And then we have a lot of similar design, but that's really the underlying condition is we need to do some geotechnical studies of the material that's there to evaluate what we need to put back. But, so I think I got it. We'll add this to the CIP. We will evaluate a concrete alternative as well as a asphalt alternative. And then we will also evaluate all the other alleys citywide and then bring back any of those alleys we want to add to the CIP at our later meeting.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
And no, just to be sure, I know you talked about the V gutter in the middle, that you're gonna take out pieces. I think you're better off just reconstructing the whole thing because piecing something that's been there for 50 years with settlement is never gonna match. So it's better off just doing the whole, if you did go the asphalt route, to do the whole gutter front end.
Probably correct. For the budget purposes, we didn't do it that way, but you're probably correct. Once we get into the design, it usually is easier to take the V gutter out.
Right, okay. Is there a motion for the approval of item number 13?
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 14. Thank you, Noe.
I'm next.
You're welcome back.
Resolution number 9837, authorizing the publication of notice to sale a franchise to Crimson California Pipeline LP for maintenance and operation of pipeline in city streets. I would like to call on Director of Public Works, Noe Negrete.
Again, okay, let's go to this item. No presentation. It's just a renewal of a franchise agreement. So their franchise agreement is set to expire in January. This is the first step. I'll bring this item back a couple of times for another reading. Have a public hearing on it. This is just the start of the process. This allows them to be in the right of way. This also allows us to charge them a franchise fee and to charge them a fee for the pipelines that are in the ground. Unfortunately, we're have to charge them what the PUC allows. Okay, so we can't go above what the PUC doesn't allow. This one is very similar to item number 17. So if you would be so kind to put 14 and 17 when you're ready together. It's very similar. That one is for Cardinal Pipeline. Same thing. They have a renewal that is expiring and they need to get another franchise renewal.
I'll move.
Thank you.
Second,
I'll move 14 and 17.
second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So ordered.
The Noe Show.
Item number 15, residential concrete improvements, authorization to advertise for construction bids. Noe Negrete.
Thank you. As you see, the staff has been busy here, trying to get some work done before the holidays. Yeah. Okay, let's try to make this the short version here. So what we have before you is we're trying to combine 4 different projects. If you recall, during the CIP projects, we had multiple concrete projects. That was the subject of a lot of the budget items too, was setting aside more money to do more sidewalk in the residential area. So we had a annual curb and gutter program, $100,000 each year. We have before you is to take all those 3 years and let's accelerate that into this year. Why wait to do the other 2 years? Let's put them all this year. And let's also take the park projects money that we had for sidewalk for Los Nietos, Lakeview Park, Lake Center Park, and let's make all one big mega sidewalk project. And we're going to rename that project the annual sidewalk curb and gutter removal and replacement. Sorry, we're going to rename that to the residential concrete improvement project. Essentially combining those 4 projects. It combines all their monies together as well. That way we can do a bigger project and hopefully get a better price by putting all that into one project. So we're asking you to approve the plans and the specs and give us the authority to go advertise for bids. So again, in a nutshell, there's sidewalk, there's driveways, and curb and gutter that we've identified to be removed and replaced. There's also grinding of sidewalk or filling of sidewalk gaps. What we found is when we take the sidewalk out and it's near a water meter, we're better off putting in a new water meter box. So that's what the replacement of the water meter boxes are. And then we have some new curb ramps. So areas that didn't have curb ramps, now that we're doing concrete, we'll put in new ramps. Generally speaking, this is the 4 areas that'll be going in. So it's east of Pioneer, south of Los Nietos, and north of Pioneer, except for that little pie wedge there in Arlee. And then on the other side below, it's all the Cedardale area, as well as portions of Davin and Dunning. Those are the four pieces you see in front of you. From a budget standpoint, combining all those projects, we think that's $706,000 that we combined. Based on our engineer's estimate, we're about 720. So there is anticipated shortfall, but we won't know that until we go out to bid. Hopefully by going out to bid with the combined, we get a better price. And it comes in under the 706. Comes in over, when we award the contract, we'll ask for additional funds. With that, I'm happy to take questions.
Is there any discussion or a motion for the approval of item number 15?
I'll move.
Second?
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 16, Betty Wilson Center roof replacement, authorization to advertise for construction bids. I would like to call on Director of Public Works, Noe Negrete.
Okay, we have before you is another roof project. This is the Betty Wilson roof over at Lake Center Athletic Park. And essentially, this roof has exceeded its service life. Substantial damage is now coming in from all the leaks because it's exposed to the sun, obviously being a roof. And we're asking to replace that roof at this time. With the last rains that we've had a significant more damage in there. So we'd like to get started on this sooner rather than later before more rains come. It's about just over 5,000 square feet. And this includes any plywood underneath for the any sublayers need to get removed. And again, we had a $205,000 approved. Total projects coming in estimated at 225. So again, once we get the bids, we can evaluate if additional funds are needed. At the last meeting, it was talked about exploring solar panels on our roofs for our facilities. So we did some homework on that. So number one, the first question was asked, do we continue to proceed with the roof projects that we have because they're getting damaged? And the answer is yes to that. We still want to continue looking at the projects that have roofing issues and get them fixed. The issues with the solar on the roofs in particular is the roof square footage usually isn't large enough to be able to have as many panels as you like to be able to offset your energy costs. So let's just say your bill is $300. You want to get enough panels to at least cover the $300. In this case, the roofs are too small for that. So you're looking at a longer rate of return. So to get that, whatever you pay for the solar panels, that's a cost, plus you're paying for your bill, right? So there's a certain amount of time that you want to have that called, your rate of return. In this case, for roofs, the return on the investment is less than desirable. There are other projects though that make sense. If you want to do like carports, those you can have more expanded square footage. So that's something we'll continue to search at now. Is we think we do have areas that we can investigate further in terms of bringing solar, looking at more like carport areas. As far as this project goes, we're recommending not to proceed with solar for the roofs at Betty Wilson. And that concludes my report.
All right, are there any discussion or motion for the approval of item number 16?
I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So ordered. Moving on to item number 18, Municipal Services Yard Warehouse and Administrative Office Roof Replacement Award of Contract. I would like to call on Director of Public Works, Noe Negrete.
Okay, last one for the night here. So this one we did go out to bid. This is over at the Municipal Services Yard and the warehouse. So we did get the bids. Thank you. So again, very similar to the last one, exceeded its service life, damage due to the rain, looking at removing the entire roof. So we did get the bids November 23rd. We got 7 bids. Essentially, there was a couple of issues. Some of the it looks like three of the contractors had mathematical computation errors. So as we review the bids, we read the bid out loud in this room, but then we go back and we make sure their math is correct. So three had math errors, and even our low bidder had an error where unit price governs. So whatever price they put for the unit price, they have to multiply that by the quantity. They had a math errors there as well. So we fixed that. It made for a higher bid, but unit prices do govern when we open bids. In this case, they're still the low bidder, Four Seasons Roofing. So we have determined their low bid is responsive and responsible, and we recommend, recommend them to be awarded the contract. The $35,000 that we're asking for addition to, kind of similar to what I was saying on the other projects. Total project cost is $510,000. We had $475,000 budgeted. Therefore, there's a shortfall of $35,000. We're asking for an allocation of $35,000 from the UT. Any questions?
If we're doing the municipality yard, how come we just don't piggyback and ask them to give us a quote for the Betty Wilson?
Can, but the problem is that the change order there has to be a nexus. I went out to bid for this one. I have to have a nexus to do the other project. I can't just piggyback off of it, from what I understand.
That they went through all the proceedings. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay. I'll move.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 19, award of, thank you, no way. Award of contract to public sector personnel consultants for the preparation of a classification and compensation study. I would like to call on Director of Finance, Travis Hickey.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening. We have an award of contract for a classification and compensation study. We issued a request for proposal back in July. We received a total of 5 proposals. We reviewed those with myself, the HR manager, our senior HR analyst, and our director of public works. I reviewed the proposals and determined the top 3, which we interviewed. The classification and compensation study is really a best practice for the city to engage a firm to perform this. Over time, our classifications can get out of alignment. Our structure gets overly complex. And so it really just helps us keep things clean. And really, most importantly, it helps us stay in line with the current labor market. And we are also under agreement with our labor associations to perform this study. So that's why we are seeking this study. We interviewed, as I mentioned, the top 3 firms, and based on the committee's recommendation, we're recommending public sector personnel consultants, whose bid was $100,000. They are very experienced with California public agencies, in particular cities. They've done work with Huntington Beach, Escondido, Ventura, Southgate, Vernon, Bell Gardens, Commerce, in addition to many other cities nationwide, but in particular, their work in California was a major factor. Their personnel are very experienced. Their timeline was satisfactory to the city, and then they were the lowest price considering their experience. So with that, we're recommending the award of contract to public sector personnel consultants. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions or a motion for the approval of item number 19?
I'll move 19.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So ordered. Thank you. Item number 20, increase the city's maximum contribution for medical insurance premiums under the Affordable Care Act. I would like to call on Director of Finance, Travis Hickey.
Thank you. Again, this is an item to increase the city's contribution towards healthcare for our hourly employees. So this, to be clear, this affects our hourly employee. So our full-time employees, the city provides health coverage through our contract with PERS. But under the ACA or the Affordable Care Act, the city is required to make an insurance contribution towards health insurance premiums for employees who work 30 hours or more on average per week. And so currently, as of, it resets each January 1st of this year, we will be required to pay $427.27 per month for employees who elect to use this coverage. Because our full-time employees are covered through our contract with PERS, we have to find a separate employer health plan for our hourly employees. And because really our participation rates are very low, we have only a couple of employees who participate in the plan, and our plan provider has indicated that they intend to cancel the contract with the city because of our low participation rates. And so because of that, we are recommending to increase the contribution to $512 a month, which would cause the employee's share of that cost to be $100 a month. We just feel that that extra contribution would provide an incentive to some of our employees to utilize the coverage. Certainly, we have a number of our hourly employees are either married and have coverage through their spouse, or younger and have coverage because they're still on their parents' plan. So we know that, you know, not everybody will utilize the coverage, but we think that extra contribution will help incentivize some people who are otherwise not covered to go ahead and get the coverage, which we think will be good for the employees. It'll be good for the city as well, that we can maintain the plan and stay in compliance with the Affordable Care Act requirements. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions.
All right. Is there any discussion or a motion for the approval of item number 20?
Got a question. Sorry for that. I forgot to ask earlier. So they say that they're going to cancel the plan with the ones that are currently in the plan. Those are subject to being canceled.
Well, they've certainly extended our contract. We're not at risk for it being canceled like immediately. We would be given certainly advance notice of that. But to the extent they did cancel it, we would need to find an alternative plan for employees who would be covered or who are currently covered.
And so far, this is our best viable option going through the current provider.
We think so, and we just feel like it's a beneficial thing to do for the employees who are working more than 30 hours a week to help make it a bit more affordable for them as well. So we really look at it as a win-win for the city and the employee.
Thank you.
All right. Do we have a motion for the approval of item number 20?
I'll move.
Second. Oh, go ahead, Jake.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So ordered. Item number 21, city managers and executive team reports. I would like to call upon City Manager Ray Cruz.
Our most popular speaker tonight, Director of Public Works, Noe Negrete.
Thank you, Ray. So a few items to report on. Stay up here now, I got the clicker. Okay, so this is an update on a request to put in more no oversized vehicle signs on Orange Pioneer Road. So just today, they were installing a majority of these. But essentially, on the left-hand side, you see Orange and Telegraph. 6 new signs were installed there, trying to prohibit trucks from using Pioneer Orange between Telegraph or between Florence, essentially, to Slauson. A lot of trucks are getting off the freeway to 605, using that as a cut through, as well as two signs were installed at Pioneer Los Nietos. And let me show you the Pioneer Los Nietos close up. So you have one in the median as you're coming in southbound, this sign, and then you have one in the mast arm. Normally those are 24 by 24, 2 by 2. These are 36 by 42. And then we actually installed this sign here on the Parkway, which is this same sign. Kind of hard to tell here, but this is actually a flasher. So around it, there are white lights kind of blinking, trying to get their attention of the drivers so that they're not using Pioneer as an alternate route. Per the code, again, signs are 24 by 24. These are 36 by 42. Per the code, all you need is one sign at the entry one at Los Nietos and one at Telegraph. Now this brings our total to 12 signs total. So again, we're hopeful people read the signs. Obviously, it's part enforcement, working with signage to try to get people not to use that street. And there you can see, here's the Orange Telegraph signs. So take a look at the intersections. As you can see, we're trying our best to tell the truck drivers not to use those streets to go on. Okay, number two. If you haven't seen the Civic Center Plaza, the holiday lights, so this is the old lights as well as the old holiday directions on the left-hand side, which is the globe light with the wreath. So the new LED light went in, and now we have the snowflakes on the right. I think it really pops out there. If you haven't seen it, I highly advise you to go out there and take a look at it. And next item is a lot of conversations and public comments about our water. So I'll just be brief on this. Every year we're, as the water agency, we have to do a water quality report, and that goes out to the residents. It's on our website as well. And I was told it's difficult to read or difficult to understand. So, we're obligated to test our water, obviously annually, monthly, sometimes weekly, and we get different test results. There's things that if we exceed, then we have to shut the water off. And that's one of the reasons why we don't have well 1 or well 2 operational, is that once they exceeded, we turned it off. And that's what the majority of other agencies do as well. As they go over the limits, they basically shut the tap off. I was going to pass this out. There's 5 there, Wayne. I can see you after the meeting or any other day you like to kind of go over it, but essentially on page 3, there's a table. And I know it's difficult to see on the screen, but essentially we have to compare our sources of water to what the state allows of each of those contaminants. So on the left side here are all the contaminants that nobody can read because they're very long names, and we tend to put in abbreviations, TCE, TCP, but these are the contaminants that the state has regulated in terms of what can or can't be in your water. Okay, thank you. Right there is our groundwater that we get from Whittier, and it'll show on there what the average and what the range is of that contaminant. So you'll see, and then we also have the next one is we buy water from MWD. So we're not allowed to buy water to MWD directly. We buy through Central Basin, okay? And that's just how it was set up back in the day when the water purveyors, you couldn't buy directly through MWD, you buy through Central Basin. They also provide their numbers, average and range, and then you compare that to the one on the left there. It says MCL, which is short for maximum contaminant level. So the easy way is you just follow the MCL box. If it says 10, you go backwards. And if anything exceeds 10, that means it exceeded that contaminant level. What you'll find is we have not exceeded any of those contaminant levels. That's how we're able to provide water for you. If you do recall, a couple of years ago, we had lead and copper test that we have to do every year. We have to get 30 tests, and we did 29 because someone turned theirs in late. I had to put that on the annual report that we did not comply with that test in time. So whenever we don't comply with something, we have to put it in this report. And you'll see if you go on the website, you can see this. The allowable were always less than all that's allowable. And if you ever get to a time where you're more, then you shut the water off essentially and you find another source. So in a nutshell, every agency has to do this, right? You have to disclose what your numbers are and make sure that they're below the maximum levels that are safe for drinking water. Okay, and this is any questions on that, I'll move to the next topic. We have a slurry seal project that just started today. If you haven't noticed, the weather's getting really cold, and we're not going as fast as we want because it takes longer for that to cure. We need sun So just, we'll tell you that we're evaluating that schedule right now. Today we did less streets than we would like to because of the coldness. So I know we let the residents know those streets and when they were going to get scheduled. That may change. So if you start to hear that, pointing back to our office, that's the reason why. So we are talking with the contractor and evaluating our different options. Okay. And last, he doesn't know I was going to do this, but Diego Andrade is here today. He's in the back taking pictures. He is a senior at Cal High, and he's here to help us out for his government class. So I'm going to make him come up here and we're going to take a picture of him if you don't mind, so we can document that he was actually here for his class. Diego, come on up. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
I have something to say. All right, I just have something to add. I do want to thank you for all the extra lights, and also Whittier PD. Coming over here today, they actually had a truck stopped, yeah, so it was actually one of those, I don't know what you would call them, a double barrel, the ones that carry all the cement or whatever it is. So they had this huge truck and it was actually a traffic officer and a regular officer. So, the fact of, collaborating with each other, it does help us out so we can have more Whittier PD. It just helps out with that Pioneer and Oranday, traffic flow, especially with these big trucks not following directions. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Noe. Now I'd like to bring up Director of Planning, Wayne Morrell.
Thank you. Real quickly, 2 items. Oops, sorry. It doesn't. No, okay, so this is the Chick-fil-A, the former Salt and Pepper restaurant. As you can see from the aerial shot, it's been demolished. There's now site preparation and grading for the restaurant, and they're in the process of getting the building permits for construction. The other item is the Christmas tree lot on Telegraph, just north of the self-storage facility. In the 30-something years that I've been here, that property has always been vacant. We now have a proposal for it to be developed with a small concrete tilt-up building. So although the developers need to go through the entitlement process, and there are 2 wells on the side that have to be re-abandoned, but this could be conceivably the last day for you to get your Christmas tree at that lot. So if you take that into consideration, go out, get your Christmas tree and enjoy your Christmas, but that probably will not be there for the upcoming years. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. Now Director of Police Services, Dino Torres.
Good evening, Mayor, members. Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. I wanted to provide you an update on one of the items you approved as part of this fiscal year's budget for your police services. It was the purchase and arrival of a pair of speed awareness monitors, also known as radar trailers. This model is called the SAM, the Speed Awareness Monitor. They are solar powered. They're tough, durable, and easy to move around and set up quickly. It has LED lights that can be seen at a far distance. It also has a red and blue violator alert display that flashes when motorists exceed the set speed limit. The radar on this piece of equipment is bi-directional and has the ability to capture the speed of 10 vehicles traveling in both directions. It comes with analytics software that allows us to capture data and analyze it to ensure our enforcement resources are being deployed accordingly. So we have 2 of these that will be deployed as needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Dino. And I'd like to bring up Chief Hayward.
Thank you, Ray. Madam Mayor and Council, good evening. First slide, please. Hey, we made it through Thanksgiving without any deep fried turkey fires. So moving on to the holiday season, we want everybody to be joyous, have a great time, but we also want everybody to be safe. A couple of statistics. 1 out of every 40 Christmas tree fires reported resulted in at least 1 death in the United States last year. Heat sources near trees cause 1 in every 6 Christmas tree fires. So please keep your heat sources at least 3 feet away from Christmas trees. And 2 out of every 5 home decorations fires are started by candles. So please keep all candles at least 12 inches from anything that can burn. Just a couple more tips that are on this slide. If you could keep no more than, 3 strands of mini lights sets in a row, and no more than 50 bulbs in a row for screw and bulb type sets like the ones you have on your eaves. So these things can help ensure that you have a nice, safe holiday season. Next slide. So the firefighters, once again, this year collecting toys from local agencies or for local agencies and families in need. Toys can be dropped off at any fire station during the day. And we have a few scheduled pickups with other companies later this month. Large amounts or corporate donations can be picked up by our department. So if you have any questions or want to coordinate a pickup with us, you can contact Fire Rescue or Cameron Velasco, one of our firefighter paramedics who's coordinating the program at 562-944-9713. Lastly, next slide. Lastly, over the years, I've reported on several dog and cat rescues and always used to have to explain to people that who call us to get cats out of trees or whatnot. I always have to explain, you don't see a cat skeleton in a tree, do you? But for some reason, we still respond. And we do make rescues, as you can see in some of the photos. The one on the right was a pretty dramatic rescue that Engineer Kit Henson, halfway down the ladder, was attacked by that cat. He was a little happier when he got on the ground down in the middle there. But, over the course of 33 years in this business, you think you've seen it all. You think you've seen every call, but we saw one last week. So if I could get the next slide. Crew members, believe it or not, we have one of these in the city. Crew members on Engine 84 were called to a residence to rescue a stuck desert tortoise. The resident said the name of the tortoise is Pooters. I didn't pick the name, but apparently it was trying to hibernate and got stuck under a house and could not back itself out. So as you can see by the pants and stuff of the guys, they got underneath. They took an extended period of time. They were able to get little Pooters out safe and sound, backed him out. And they took a second to pose with Pooters and the family as he snacked on a little bit of watermelon. So last slide. With that, we'd like to take this opportunity to wish everybody a safe and happy holiday season and a happy new year. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Chief. And now Director of Finance, Travis Hickey.
Thank you, Ray. Good evening. Again, just a quick follow-up on the network upgrades we installed over the past weekend. Everything went smoothly. It was our network core switch that was replaced. And essentially, it's the hub to our whole infrastructure. So basically, everything in the city had to be unplugged and plugged into the new switch, but it all went smoothly and was done over Friday evening and into Saturday. Next slide. We also recently had our quarterly sales tax update. Very positive news. The city sales tax continues to be strong. Just under 10.3 million for the second quarter. That's April through June. And we outpaced both the county and the state. And as usual, our largest category is business and industry there, generating about $5.5 million for the quarter. Next slide. This on the left here, we have our top 25 sales tax producers. I'm sure you recognize a number of the kind of our regular businesses there, Tangram, Toyota Material Handling, McMaster Car, Mike Thompson RV are sort of regulars, but a couple of new additions to our list is Westpac Labs and Royal Industrial Solutions, new businesses to the city, as well as our first full year with Fashion Nova being allocated to the city. So next slide. I also recently attended a webinar with representatives from the state's Legislative Analyst Office, which is the nonpartisan group that provides fiscal data to the governor's office for developing the budget, as well as to legislators in setting state policies. Just a couple of slides I found interesting. The purple line on top is the revenue forecast from the governor's office. The darker purple line is the Legislative Analyst Office. So Legislative Analyst Office is expecting a little under 210 billion in revenues for the state, where the governor's office is a bit over 220. So a little bit of a difference there. We'll see what the governor comes out with in January with his first budget for 22-23. And the last slide. And so because of that revenue shortfall, the LAO is projecting a $24 billion budget shortfall for 23-24 with smaller deficits going forward. And so the state is in a good position to absorb those deficits. But, you know, from my perspective for the city, it's just kind of more dark clouds on the horizon. We've had some very positive financial results over the last couple of years, especially given the pandemic. But with the increases in inflation and interest rates, you know, certainly keeping a close eye on our revenues. So thank you.
Thank you, Travis. And now Director of Community Services, Maricela Barderas.
Thank you, Ray. Good evening, Mayor, members of the council, audience. I have several reports to share with you this evening. I wanted to start off with our tree lighting ceremony. We kicked off the holiday season this past Saturday, December 3rd, with our annual tree lighting ceremony. It was wonderful to see so many of our residents come out and enjoy what turned out to be a really beautiful evening as we brought in the holiday season with the lighting of our Christmas tree. The attendees enjoyed free cookies, hot cocoa, various food and artisan vendors, a very popular snow sled area, arts and crafts, a train ride that went all the way to the Clark Estate, and pictures with Santa and Mrs. Claus. Our library staff also was on site helping all the kids complete their letter to Santa to get it mailed to the North Pole. An event like this with so many wonderful attractions doesn't happen without the help of all our city departments. So we want to thank all of the staff members from all of the departments who put on such a great event for our community. A special thank you goes to Parks and Rec staff for hosting such an amazing event for our community. And we also want to thank our mayor and our city council members for your attendance and for your continued support for our events. Here's a short recap video of the evening. The next item is our youth soccer fall season. The fall youth soccer program came to a close on Saturday, November the 19th, with the final games that are on your screen. You can see some of the highlights from those games. All of our participants received their participation trophy and a goodie bag recognizing their efforts for this season. There were 251 participants and 178 participants, or 71%, were city residents in this program. Our youth soccer program is very unique as we train our staff to teach not only the fundamentals of soccer, but we also train them to teach them life lessons through soccer that includes good sportsmanship, commitment, discipline, teamwork, resiliency, and dealing with adversity. We'd like to thank all of our volunteers, our parents, our officials, and coaches that were under the leadership of Program Coordinator Diane Armendaris and Program Leader 3, Jocelyn Villegas, for their work collaborating to produce a very successful soccer season for the youth in our community. Next, last night, our Santa Float program kicked off with stops at Verbeck and Westman, and Bower and Norwalk, and La Docena and Albertus. Tonight, the float is making stops at Guard and Buell, Los Nietos Park, and Harvard and Hollyhock. We want to thank all of our Parks and Rec Committee for their hard work, led by the Float Subcommittee Chairperson, Andrea Lopez, and the dozens and dozens of volunteers for putting on such a wonderful program for our residents. The float is now in its 42nd year in operation, a remarkable tradition that lives here in Santa Fe Springs. The float's going to be making its stops each weeknight through December the 16th. For a complete listing of each stop, please visit www.sfsrec.org. We're moving on to our Neighborly Elf Christmas basket program. We're still accepting pre-registration for our Neighborly Elf basket program. The registration deadline is Friday, December the 9th, this Friday. The holiday baskets are going to be distributed on December 17th. For more information or to register, families or individuals can contact the Gus Velasco Neighborhood Center. The Las Posadas cultural event will also take place this coming Friday, December 9th at Heritage Park, beginning at 6:30 with a guided procession led by Paso de Oro Dance Company and followed with a live performance featuring folklorico and Latin dancers. There will be a variety of food and artisan vendors, children's arts and crafts, and attendees will be provided complimentary hot chocolate and champurrado. For further information, residents can call Heritage Park. The timeline for the event was provided to the City Council at the last City Manager report, and staff are going to be reaching out to you regarding your participation. Next, we have, in collaboration with the Elenia Medical Imaging, the Community Service Department will be offering a free mobile mammography screening on December 20th from 9 in the morning to 3:30 at the Gus Velasco Neighborhood Center. To qualify for the free screening, the individuals must be 40 years or older, meet low income requirements, and have no medical insurance. If you don't meet these requirements, there's a number of HMO and PPO insurances that are accepted. For more information or to register for a screening, you can call 1-877-4AN-EXAM. And then my last item is on Friday, our first Friday event. The library hosted the Alley Cats at its first Friday program last Friday on December the 2nd. The audience enthusiastically joined the quartet for an interactive show that was filled with Christmas songs and a classic doo-wop tunes. After the concert, all the kids and the audience received a free book. Here's a recap of that event. And then just the last item, I want to wish Noe Negrete a belated happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday. And I also want to wish Dino Torres an early happy birthday. His birthday's next week. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, that ends our executive team reports.
All right, thank you. Moving on to item number 22, council comments. We start off with Councilmember Martin.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I love to see how the Christmas tree lighting was so full of people and back to what it used to be before COVID. Abel, Johnny, what you guys did with the lights, again, you guys outdo yourselves every year. Thank you for putting so much heart and soul into the lights. It's awesome to see that. The Christmas tree turned on, even better, stays on. That's even great. So thank you and your staff for doing what you guys do too. It's just great to see everything back to normal. You know, after COVID, we got float out, we got events. We were at a senior dance. The dance was full of seniors dancing, having a good time. I don't know how you seniors do it because after the first song, I'm done. I can't dance anymore. And you guys keep going. So I'm glad to see all that. Trying to see what else we got going on. Raylene, please commend Joseph Siza for the decorations, how he did our tree. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So thank you so much. On a serious note, a couple weeks ago, something tragic happened. And I really don't hear too much talking about it anymore, but we have to remember this and keep them in our prayers. Class 464, the sheriff's department was attacked. A lot of the cadets were hurt, and being now a spouse of a deputy, we were there when we went to the academy and saw these kids getting hit. A thing that us parents or us anybody should not see 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds have this happen to them when they're voluntarily doing this to save our lives every day. What happened that day will tragically change their life forever. We still have one fighting for his life with 2 children. Please. They chose that life. Yes, they did. Ruiz, you guys chose that. My husband chose that. And many family members here chose that too. Johnny, your brother did. Thank them every day for what they do. Because in a blink of a second, they're gone. And they're out there trying to protect us, strangers, who we may not ever know them. We may not ever say them or say thank you for what they do. But please, especially during the holidays, and please keep class 464 in your prayers. Because they're out there for us, not for themselves. They're doing what they're doing for us to protect us every day. It hits home more because, like I said, my husband now. But please, thank you so much for anybody out there wearing the uniform and wearing that badge, but especially class 464 for these kids that didn't deserve what happened. And I'm sorry, but I just feel that we need to keep that class in our prayers. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Mora?
Good evening. And Councilman Winnie, I cannot agree with you more. Definitely, there was a definite tragedy for people that are trying to do right and serve the community. And then something like this happens, it's definitely tragic. And then myself had already pointed out, you know, it's my favorite time of year, Christmas float, something that's been near and dear to my heart for the past 37 years that I've been on it as a volunteer, as an employee. And of course, it's they celebrated 42 years, which was awesome. And yeah, pretty much we're pretty much done with COVID. Things are going back to normal. Tree lighting was fantastic, as they had already mentioned. And it was great to see the really nice turnout last night for the first night. And yeah, also full house, full capacity with the seniors having their Christmas dance. And then also, I just wanted everybody to know that it's been a privilege and an honor to serve on your city council. I've been blessed and honored to represent not only our community, but you know, our employees and our businesses, and just everybody here and also looking through Zoom. I have had the pleasure of working with the finest individuals, in my opinion, both from City Hall to Park and Rec to Community Services. I mean, just everybody. I think HR may have something to do with it because they seem to pick the very best people possible. So, you know, I commend HR for picking the best every single time. And then also I want to thank all the employees for taking such pride in your job, because without you, this city would not be the great city that it is. I am going to continue to serve, probably on a different level. I'm going to continue to volunteer. I've got stuff going on with the schools and the chamber and the mentor program. So, you know, I'm still going to be serving because that's just something that I do. Looking forward to see Sonic's, Dave's Chicken, downtown Santa Fe Springs, and of course our aquatic center. And maybe, who knows, maybe Paul T. Nakamura Memorial Aquatic Center. Let's see what's in store for us. But with that said, I want to congratulate Juanita Martin, Bill Rounds, and Rodriguez on their election. And thank you very much and have a good night.
Now we have Councilmember Sarno.
I didn't want to be the first to say that, but John, it's been an honor being here with you. It's been an honor as a friend, as much as you think yourself as just one of us. No, you have been a mentor. You've been a mentor to myself. You've been a mentor, a friend, and a family. It's going to be hard not seeing you here. But I know you will be here. You will always be family. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you for being the person that you are. Thank you. Go ahead.
You know, it's supposed to be a happy time.
It
You-
is a
you-
happy
What are you
time.
crying for? You making us Debbie Downer.
Councilmember Sarno.
First, I want to tell John, thank you for your service, sir. This isn't goodbye. This is, I'll see you tomorrow. You're not going nowhere. You've rooted your family, you've rooted yourself here in the city for your whole life. This is just one step of your life that you're going to keep moving forward. I know that. You're a great man. You did a great job serving us in this community. I thank you for your service, sir. Thank you. It's kind of a mixed feelings here. I feel so happy and joyful, and then I hear, we just, the reality is this is the time where we should be appreciative for all we have in life and the people that we know, and just remember, this is the season to give and to say thank you, and just to remember we have a great life in our community, our city, and we should just be appreciative of it. And it shouldn't take this time of year to do it. We should be doing this every day of our lives, because we don't know when tomorrow doesn't give us life anymore. So with that, you guys have a great Christmas, great holidays. Hug your family, hug your friends. Tell them I love you, because you know what? Life's too short for us. And, I don't know. I just want to say Merry Christmas, and I hope everybody has a great, safe holiday. Thank you, guys.
Now we have Mayor Pro Tem Zamora.
I also want to congratulate Mr. Bill Rounds, Annette Rodriguez, and Juanita Martin on their election. And also, I just want to say, John, thank you for your service. I mean, the work that you put in, not only in our city, but also in your home life. I know that you do a lot for your community. So thank you for all that you've done for us. And I know that you're going to continue to do, especially when it comes to our aquatic center and right now our Christmas float. I know that's always been one of your babies, so it will continue to be your baby. I know that the float came out really well. I'm pretty sure we all agree that. And also to piggyback on what Juanita said, when it comes to Joseph Siza, he did an awesome job. I know when everybody walks through City Hall, whether they're coming to do, they're going to the planning department or whichever area, they see that tree, and it's great to even see people coming in, taking photos with the tree. Joseph did an amazing job. My recommendation would not for him to only do this tree, but also the outside tree, in the front. I think if he puts his talent and his touches to it, it would look amazing. Not that the other one doesn't, but what he did here was just tremendous. When it comes to class 464, Juanita hit it spot on. These kids that didn't deserve what took place to them. I mean, they're going to be scarred for life. And, some of them just, were missing limbs, and it was a sad situation that no one talks about. And, we have one of our Kevin, who him and his wife, they were across the street when this all took place. And, I spoke to his wife, and, she said the chaos that she saw was just horrible. And she's actually a grief counselor when it comes to individuals going through tragic events. So if, she's having a difficult time with this, I can only imagine how these kids are doing. And actually, one of these kids was a former public safety officer. And that's for Santa Fe Springs that actually, has to deal with this. And, in talking to him at the tree lighting ceremony, he talked about the horrendous act that how they had to break the window and pull the driver out because the individual still had his foot on the pedal. And, and that was the only way. But of course, that individual actually who was in the car with their foot on the pedal mentioned that he was getting beaten up, he was getting abused, but it was like they were trying to get him out because he was still trying to take off or progress. But either way, I mean, it's a sad situation. I mean, only God knows what's going to happen from then on out. So we just, may God always put a hedge of protection around those individuals who sacrificed their lives for us, just the way Christ did. I know Christmas is coming up and, Chief Hayward, I know that probably got couple more weeks with you. So, thank you for all your service. Thank you for all that you've done for us. And, Chief Chad, thank you. I know that you're going to do an excellent job here for the city of Santa Fe Springs. And, for all of us, I mean, this is a time of giving, like Jay said, and whether we give with our hearts or we give in other manners, it's the fact of just giving up our time. Thank you to all our staff and all the hard efforts that they put in. And thank you to the city council who works a thankless job at times, but hey, somebody has to do it. So take care and God bless. Have a great evening.
Thank you. And of course, they said everything that I want to say, but, and Juanita, and I want to say, Mayor Pro Tem Zamora, I'm glad you brought that up about the class 464. And all we can do is pray and pray that they recover, and it's going to be a long road, and, just keep praying for their health and their well-being. I wanted to thank all of the departments for all of the events that we've been having. There's just so much, the Thanksgiving giveaway, the Christmas tree. I want to thank the chief for the breakfast this Saturday. He had a picture of himself on top of the tree, and they said he tried to hide it, but they found it and put it back on there. You shouldn't do that. It looked very nice. So thank you. It was just an amazing breakfast. And I know you have 2 weeks. He said after 2 weeks, don't call him anymore. So we'll call Chief Chad. Yes, we will. But I wanted to thank you for that. It was really nice. The kids had a very nice time. It's amazing. Just the senior dance. I want to thank all of our seniors. You just make it so special. We're out there, the dances, we get out there and dance, and I get tired, but the dances go on. They mix the first song to the second song. So you got to stay out there and dance. But I was just sweating when I came out of it. It was really nice. And the city Christmas breakfast, I want to thank all of our staff that put that together, just all the staff that puts everything together. I don't know how you do it, but you make everything look so easy, but I know it can't be that easy. It's a lot of hard work, but you guys make it look so great and so successful. I want to thank you all that contributes to that. We really appreciate everything that you do from the bottom of our heart. We really do. I want to congratulate Juanita Martin for her reelection. I want to thank you. I want to congratulate Bill Rounds for his reelection. And I wanted to thank John Mora because, before I get to you, John, I want to thank them for this decoration. So beautiful here. And the tree is so beautiful too. Whoever did this, maybe it was Joseph, but please, okay, Joseph, tell him we said thank you. This is just amazing. I'm going to do this at my house in a couple of years, so not this year. John has been such a complete gentleman, so ethical, holds himself accountable for everything that he does. You're just like my best friend up here. I want to thank you for everything that you've done and everything that you do. He also works for my company. I send my people to him to get drug tested. And he just gives me the results instantly. He makes our job at my company a lot easier. We used to have to go outside, outsource it, and we wouldn't get the results back for 4 or 5 days. John gives us the results instantly the same day. But not only that, he's done so much. He, like I said, just a complete gentleman. And I'm very proud to say that you're my friend. I'm proud to have you, work with us throughout these 4 years, and I will miss you up here. But like you said, you're going to still be in the city. Obviously, you're not going anywhere. Yeah, well, yes, you do. You're going to be volunteering and doing everything that you normally do. Yes, and I just want to wish you and your family all the best. And I just want to wish everybody happy holidays. Kathy, thank you for having us at the Rotarian meeting with your president, Carlos. And you guys were amazing. Thank you so much for always inviting us. I want to wish everybody happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. Thank you. And with that, I would like to adjourn the meeting.